Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another video. Welcome back to Monster Hunter World, and in today's video I'm going to have to keep a lower tone of voice because my wife and kid are sleeping, but hopefully with the new microphone we'll be able to make up for it in editing. But anyways, today I'm bringing you guys another one of my build videos, and this build is actually quite special to me because this is a weapon that I used it a lot during the beta, but for some strange reason ever since I actually started playing the final game, I haven't spent as much time with this weapon as I would have liked. Now the weapon that I'm talking about is the switch axe, and the name that I'm calling this build is Justice. It's mostly because of the way that the character looks aesthetically. It just kind of reminded me as, you know, the embodiment of justice, and also I just kind of feel like that's a pretty cool name. But anyways, let's get this started. So in terms of weapons, we got the Teostra's Castle. Now, the reason I'm using the Teostra's Castle is because I've actually had quite a few requests from you guys to do a build around Teostra's Castle, because I kind of feel that this particular build can be used with any weapon that you want. You just have to trade a couple of the decorations so that they actually take advantage of the weapon that you are using, as opposed to taking advantage of the Teostra's Castle. In terms of augmentations, my personal suggestion would definitely be health regen, because I feel more vulnerable when I use the switch axe than with other weapons. This is probably because of lack of practice, but eventually I do get hit quite a bit, so therefore having health regen in there will probably lower my downtime running away for potions and stuff like that, so that would be my personal recommendation. Anyways, moving onwards, the first armor piece that we have in this build is the Dragon King eye patch. We are going to be going for that sweet weakness exploit. Then we have the Xeno'jiiva hide, because this time around I wanted to get a build that focused a lot on staying in sword mode as much as possible and staying in amped state as much as possible. Therefore, we're going to be going for power prolonger, and Xeno'jiiva hide beta is one of the best armor pieces for that. And also, Xeno'jiiva's hide is actually a chest piece that I really like the look of because it's got the wings, and so I just went for that. Then we got Kulve-Taroth's Rage Beta. That's going to bring in the final point of Power Prolonger, and as we all know, Kulve-Taroth's armor has pretty much the best when it comes to decoration slots, so it also brings in that. However, there is a disadvantage to this particular armor piece, and that is this set is not going to support Elementalist playstyle because we have the free element ammo up, okay? So keep that in mind. Moving onwards, when it comes to our waist, we have the Damascus Coil Beta. Now, there's two reasons why I got this. One of the reasons is because it has a lot of decoration slots, even though they're tier 1, but it's got a lot of decoration slots in there, and it brings in 1 point of focus. Now, focus also helps you get your gauge back up faster, both the amped state gauge as well as just a regular get into sword mode gauge, so to speak. So focus is a skill that I really wanted to have on this particular build. And then we got the Kushala Cruise Beta, which is going to bring in Evade Extender, which, like I told you guys the very first time that I did a build for switch axe, that I kind of felt without Evade Extender I had a really hard time, you know, positioning myself in the battlefield. Then we round things out with Handicraft Charm level 3. Now, you do need to double check if this is going to take your switch axe of choice into white sharpness. It takes a Teostra's Castle into 1 pixel of white sharpness, and that is why we're running Handicraft Charm 3. Now, in the event that whatever switch axe you happen to be using does not get white sharpness with 1 handicraft charm, either you find another way to put that an additional handicraft in there, or just get rid of this and get yourself an attack charm or some other skill that you want to get. Now, when it comes to the mantles, I'm using a Rocksteady mantle, but it is extremely dangerous because if you zero-sum discharge into a monster that is going to deal damage to you while you are doing the zero-sum discharge and you don't have health regen, you can get one shot pretty damn easy. Augmentations naturally are going to reduce the chance of you actually getting one shot by this, but keep that in mind. It is a very dangerous mantle to use if you plan on using zero-sum discharge. Okay, so when it comes to decoration slots on the Dragon King Eye Patch Alpha, we have a Tenderizer Jewel level 2, which is going to max out our weakness exploit. On the Xeno'jiiva Hide Beta, we're going to get 2 Grinder Jewels. That is because we only have 1 pixel of white sharpness, so I want to be able to just sharpen up my weapon whenever I need to and not have to wait around for like 2, 3, 4 swipes. So we're going to max out Grinder, and we're also going to be getting a Sharp Jewel as well on Kulftaroth's Rage to make sure that whenever we do sharpen, we get to stay on that white sharpness for a significant amount of time. And then we got the final Grinder Jewel in there, so we're going to have speed sharpening maxed out. Then on the Damascus Coil Beta, we're going to put in 3 Blast Jewels. Now, I know that these are not the easiest thing to get, so if you do not have Blast Jewels, you might consider if you want to have the Focus or not, but you can replace Damascus Coil for the Kaiser Coil, and that will bring in some blast in there. This is just in case you're using Teosor's Castle. If you're using a different switch axe, I would actually put in like stuff for the element relevant to your switch axe. So like if you're using a thunder switch axe, put some bolt jewels in here. If you're using a fire switch axe, put some fire jewels in there. Or you can also put some attack jewels or even expert jewels. Basically, this is just 3 points for you to increase the damage of your weapon. And in my opinion, if you're playing with Teosor's Castle, you want to get that blast maxed out. Then on the Kushala Cruise Beta, now some people are going to say, Rurikhan, you should do the additional evade so that you have 3 points of evade extender. But personally, I really like the 2 points of focus, because one full combo in sword mode, one full combo like triangle, 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 circle, circle, that is going to instantly put you into amped state if you have 2 points in focus. And overall, just like it gets you into amped state a little bit faster, it also gets you back into sword mode a little bit faster. And like I said, I want to be in sword mode, I want to be in amped state as much as I possibly can. Looking at the finalized build, we're going to be having 3 points in Blast Attack, 3 points in Weakness Exploit, 3 points in Power Prolonger, 3 points of Handicraft, which is going to be taking us into White Sharpness territory for Teosor's Castle, 3 points in the Speed Sharpening so that we can keep our blade sharpened as often as possible, 2 points into Focus, which is going to just speed up our rotations and make sure that we can get into amp state as well as get back into sword mode as fast as possible. Evade Extender to increase our mobility. The free element ammo up is basically a byproduct of using the Kulftaroth's gloves. And then we have Protective Polish to ensure that we can stay in that white sharpness for as long as we possibly can. When I set out to make another switch axe build, I didn't want it to focus too much on attack skills or affinity skills or anything like that, which is why I only really got the bare minimum for Weakness Exploit level 3, and most of the other stuff is just utility skills, because I really wanted to have a build that focused on getting you into sword mode, getting you into that amped state as fast as possible. Now, whether you use that to actually go into zero-sum discharge, or you just use that to basically get to amped state and just spam attacks with the amped state, because that is also pretty damn sweet. And as a matter of fact, I actually think that might deal more damage than zero-sum discharge. Not to mention that that's one of the things that really bothers me about the switch axe, is that you kind of feel like you should be building up the whole time to get into that zero-sum discharge, but when you actually do it, zero-sum discharge feels like, it's like every weapon has its ultimate ability, right? Like you look at a gun lance, and what do you got? You got Wyvern's Fire. You look at Greatsword, and what do you got? You got the True Charge Slash, right? Every weapon has like its thing that you really want to build up towards and then just unleash it. And I kind of feel that that thing on the switch axe is the zero-sum discharge, but ultimately, a lot of the times you want to hold back, because zero-sum discharge is such a move that it's such a commitment, and I always feel so vulnerable whenever I do it, because anything can basically knock you out of it. I mean, now we have earplugs level 4, but still, you can still get roared out of it by certain monsters. And not only anything can get you out of it, but also you can actually receive tons of damage when you are doing it, particularly if you're using a rock-steady mantle to ensure that you're not going to get dismounted. You can actually get punished and get one-shot by monsters, which is a little bit frustrating. But overall, I kind of feel like the build, if you know how to properly play a switch axe, which, to be completely honest, I clearly don't, I think you can get a lot of value out of this build. I mean, just being able to go into sword mode, stay in sword mode, get into amp state, stay in amp state for as long as you possibly can, it just feels better. It feels faster. The one thing that still bothers me is that I also really wish that I could get earplugs for switch axe, but it's just getting earplugs is going to have to remove some of the other things. Like I would either have to get rid of weakness exploit, and then I kind of feel like I wouldn't be dealing enough damage, or I would have to get rid of focus or power prolonger or evade extender, which are skills that I really wanted to include here. Now, what I want to know is your opinion on this particular build. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed my videos, always remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit all so that you actually receive notifications for all of my videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.